Alright, hey everybody, this is Sam at Backcountry Runaway. As you all know, we're probably all bored and tied up with this quarantine thing, and so I've been working on a project that I'm going to share with you today. I wanted to improvise a knife just out of things that I could find and try it out, and I had an old Sawzall blade that I decided to make this knife out of. But I made this, and I have this old electric knife sharpener that I bought years ago before I knew how to sharpen knives myself. I took it apart, and it's basically a grinder, and that's what I used to shape the Sawzall blade. And I used a drill and bit to drill a hole in the wood, and the hole was a little big, so what I did was, but there's wedges in between the blade and the handle, the wood of the handle, because the holes were a little big, and I just glued them in there. But I didn't spend a whole lot of time trying to make it perfect, but I wanted it to be usable with a decent bevel on it. And I just did that with stones. I did a rough one with a rough bevel with a file, and then really did it with stones. But I'm gonna test this thing out and see how well it does on wood. It cuts paper really nicely, fresh off the strop. But it's a random Sawzall blade, a drill with a bit, and some epoxy I used Loctite just because it was cheap, and I didn't want to put money into this. All I put was the $3 for the Loctite epoxy. That's the only money I spent on this at all. Just a lot of time and energy, really. Alright, check it out. So what I have here is 3 different kinds of wood. I'm gonna try doing some feather sticks with the knife that I made. My guess is that this is not gonna feather very well no matter what knife I use, and I have a Mora on me that I'm gonna test that theory with, because it's really dried out, and it's a hardwood of some kind, maybe maple, or yeah, I think it's maple. So I don't think this is gonna feather very well, period. These 3 pieces right here are pine. I am gonna use it to debark this maple though, to see how it does for that. And then I'm not sure what kind of wood this is, but I'm pretty sure it's another kind of softwood. But I think this might feather well. I haven't used this before. This is a new cut from my yard, trimming some stuff, so we'll see. I think first I'm gonna do these and compare the Mora and this to see if I'm right, but I don't think this is gonna do well. Let's see here. Here's the knife that I made. But first I'm gonna get the bark off. See how it does for that. Just fine. Yeah, this is crumbly. I can tell. This is not gonna feather very well. And this is kind of a thin piece too. You wouldn't normally want to do this, but I don't have very many trees in my yard, so okay, it's not bad. It is definitely kind of crumbly. Can you hear it? I don't know if you can hear it, but you can kind of hear how crumbly it is. How it's kind of just crumbling under the blade. I'm gonna grab the same thing and use my Mora. Yeah, same thing. Kinda crumbly for feathers. I mean, I don't think you're supposed to use hardwood for feathers anyways, but I mean, in a pinch you got to do what you got to do, right? Alright, so I'm gonna disregard these. These don't do very well at all. Let's try the pine next. What do you think? Pine? Let's try the pine. Back to the knife that I made. Get that off. Give me a sharp edge to work with. This pine's still kind of green too, so it don't even really want to curl. Not like I think that other wood will, because it's still kind of green, but it's pretty dry, so that's where I like it when doing this. But I mean, you see, I have no problem eating through that pine at all. I mean, look at that. Let's see. Yeah, that green pine is not making very good feathers either. Which I think I already knew that, I just wasn't thinking about it. But it still shows you how good. I mean, that's working. I mean, this is a really thin blade though, so no matter what you do with it, you're gonna want to be careful. I mean, that's thinner than my Mora is. I'll show you for comparison. That's a Mora 1, Mora Classic 1 right there, and this is Sawzall blade, so you can see the difference. Alright, because I'm curious about this one. I want to see if this feathers or not. Oh yeah. Once I get down to that center, where it's easier to carve, then it doesn't make bad feathers at all. Let's see this side. I don't know, what do you think? There's some good feathers in there. There's some bad ones and there's some good ones. It's probably mostly technique, but you can see that there's some nice long ones in there. Let's change sides. This is definitely a harder wood than that pine is. For sure. Alright, back at you. Still testing the homemade knife. Telling you, it was stupid simple. Once I figured out everything I was gonna use, I just kind of put it together. I've been putting this off for a long time. I've had this saw blade for a long time with the intentions of trying to make a knife out of it. I just never got around to it, being busy with other things all the time. And now with the quarantine and hours getting cut and everything, I have nothing better to do. I kinda got my hours cut and $2 pay cut. I'm only working 14 hours a week now, so I'm not doing very well as far as that goes. Let me try another technique here. I've been carving all day too, y'all, so I'm pretty tired. Granddad broke an old wooden spoon that he liked to use. The handle broke on it, so I carved out a new one. And then I've been processing wood for other carving tasks all day, so it's kind of what I've been doing. But, I mean, as you can see, I'm carving the heck out of this wood. Let's see, what else did I want to show you? Not only show you, but try myself. What was it? Oh, a divot. So, like if you were trying to make a hand drill or a bow drill, or whatever else you would use a divot for. Let's see. So I'm going to carve me a flat piece real quick. And this is not wood that I would use for either of those, because this is pretty hard actually. When it fully dries out, it might be okay, or when it ages a bit, because this was an evergreen. Or no, it wasn't. I can't remember. I think this tree is evergreen. Maybe not. Anyways, so let's see if I can bring you in a little closer. No, you can't see nothing now, can you? Put it down right there. Right there. Right there. Right there. Bring this down more. Nope, that's as far down as it goes. Right there. How's that? It looks weird on the tripod. It looks like it might fall. I'm gonna try to get a good angle. Now when I do this, I normally put the handle in the palm of my hand like this, so that way I don't slip on these knives that don't have guards. I don't like guards, so that's what I normally do. And then kind of just work my way around. this. There's definitely flex in this blade, so be mindful of that. And flip the piece. Don't flip your body. You don't want to cut towards yourself. So you see the cuts going away from me. Flip the piece again. This is really weird, y'all. I'm not used to doing this kind of stuff on camera. I'm trying to get used to it, I swear, y'all. I swear I do more stuff than I post. I just getting used to the camera thing. Encourage me. Encourage me. I'm a shy person, so encourage me. All right. Let's see if you can see. All right, so it can do a divot for sure. So if I was like doing a bow drill or a hand drill, there's a divot. It'd probably look nicer on softer wood. This wood's kind of hard though. I'm not sure what it is. Not sure at all. What do you think? Will it do the job? It's a Sawzall blade. I didn't do anything to it other than shape it and sharpen it. I didn't have to do no heat treat. It was a fun project. This is the very first fully finished knife I've made. I didn't spend a lot of time finishing the blade. But this is it. I don't know. Maybe you want to try it. It's really lightweight. I wouldn't hesitate to take this backpacking or something. I could see this being a user, carver. Sometimes friends and stuff get curious about the stuff that I do, and I teach them. firecraft and water collection and disinfection and things like that. And this could always be a loaner knife for when I do those sorts of things. Or I could put it up and savor it as my first knife project and never touch it again. I don't know, but I mean, it eats through wood, no problem. Let's see, that's a square right there. So sorry, went off camera. Point. That's pine. That's maple. I think hickory. If I'm not mistaken. But I don't know. You tell me. I think this is pretty decent for what it is. And the sheath. This ain't even the. I didn't make this sheath for this knife. I made this sheath for another knife that I was using a while back. I can't remember which one. It was an old boot knife that I turned into a little bush knife, and this just happened to fit it quite nicely. So until I make a sheath for this will work. And the sheath is just old boot, and the holes were punched with a nail, and it was sewn up with fishing lines. So completely improvised sheath too. Yep. Just wanted to show you this project I've been working on since we've been in quarantine, and I haven't been working as many hours, so thought I'd share it with you. Maybe it's a project you want to work on. It was super simple. I've never made a knife before this, so if I can do it, you can do it. I've never even practiced making knives before, so it's really functional. And I mean, you just seen all the carving I've done with it, and it's still sharp. You just need to strop, and it'll be right back to the way it was, I guarantee it. Give it a try. This is Sam at Backcountry Runaway, coming at you with another video. I have another series coming up soon where I'm building a bushcraft camp at a friend's property. I got permission to use it, so I'm going to be practicing skills there and filming it along the way. Might even stay out there and do some camping, so stay tuned if you want to see some of that. And I got some short hikes planned coming up too, so plenty of content coming. I got a new action camera too, so I'll have better footage coming along. This is Sam at Backcountry Runaway. See you next time.